Welcome to Moving Through and Beyond, a podcast dedicated to sharing inspired journeys of redefining life, vision, and purpose after immense hardship and grief. My goal with this podcast is to give you hope and to let my guest journeys inspire you to make the choice to keep looking up. I'm your host, Carey Conley. Hi, everyone. I'm Carey Conley, the host of Moving Through and Beyond podcast. I am honored to bring to you a new acquaintance of mine. I just heard him speak literally less than a month ago at a summit here in Arizona and was so moved and impressed by what you have done in such a short span of your life. This is Richard Harrington, you all. He's known as a renowned life and wealth coach and has literally moved himself into a way of being completely financially free at a very early age, and now teaches other people to do this. Correct, Richard?
Yes.
Yes. So thank you so much. And he is in South Africa. Where are you in South Africa?
In Cape Town, my hometown. So we're on the southern tip of the African continent.
I've never been there, but I would love to go.
Yes, you should come.
Yes. It's funny. I just completed interviewing Robin Banks, who was also at this summit, everybody. And he is in Johannesburg,
yes,
where it's snowing there.
I know, right? It's crazy.
I know. The weather is just wild. So thank you. I appreciate you. And, you know, as I said, I got to hear a little bit about your story, but I would love for you to kind of share a little bit more about how you started, what your background is, and how you got to do what you are doing now.
Thank you for this opportunity. So, yes, as you mentioned, I'm from Cape Town, South Africa. I wasn't born with money. I went to public schools. I got a scholarship to go to college, and it's where I studied investments and economics. And then my very next year after college, I got a job as a junior analyst in a graduate development program. But the first paycheck I received, I blew it. I blew it because I wasn't used to money. I never came from money. And I was like, this is amazing. I made it. My first paycheck. I've made it. I've arrived. So clearly I had the wrong mindset. I was never taught about money. And it wasn't just my first paycheck. It was a pattern that continued for about more than a year, 1.5 years of me just blowing through my paycheck.
Okay.
Living the vida loca, living the crazy life. I had crazy friends, and I was the one that was paying the tabs and buying the rounds. And
how old were you, Richard?
I was about 21. Yeah.
Okay.
Very young and innocent.
Which, this is typical, right?
Yeah. And then the crazy thing happened was I decided to stop that lifestyle. And it wasn't really a decision I made. It was made for me because I maxed out all my credit cards, all my loans. I couldn't get more credit. So I was forced to change my life. And I went what I call now my ghost year. 12 months, just never saw my friends, never went out. I lost all of them because I was no longer showing up. I was no longer on the party scene. I was no longer the driver. I was no longer the spender. So I lost all of them. And when I look back now, that was a good thing because they were part of the problem. Because when I was in debt, I couldn't actually ask them for help or advice because we all were in debt.
Right.
All were broke. It's room in the blind, leading the blind. And I mean, honestly, I didn't want anyone to know that I'm in this massive debt because I was embarrassed. I'm a firstborn, the first one with a degree, and I'm the one that's broke and in debt. So there was a lot of shame there. So I couldn't tell my parents, I couldn't tell my family, and I kept it to myself, and the debt actually got worse. And then what I know now is you got to bring out your stuff into the light so the scary monster can go down. But I was running away from it. But I found a place online. I watched webinars, I watched masterclasses, I did online courses, I got coaches, and that was kind of my way to confront my debt mess that I've created. And after 12 months, I managed to wipe out all of my debt.
Wow.
And people's like, Well, yeah, that's a short time, but it was the longest time because it was the loneliest time.
Yeah.
And that was when I learned for the first time how to change my own mindset and how to change my own habits. And I tell
Mhm.
people I learned how to do that. It was no one telling me what to think and how to think. I learned how to do that because I was by myself to figure out who is this person, or what do I actually believe, what is my value. So that was my year of self-discovery. But then a crazy thing happened. I was driving home from work one day and I saw this beggar at the traffic light, and the thought hit me that this beggar is also debt free. So up until that moment I thought, I'm debt free, but so is this homeless person, also debt free. So there's another
Right.
level, and that's financial freedom. And I went on a journey about what financial freedom is. It's not the fancy house, it's not the fancy car. That's the broke mindset. That's why I was broke and in debt, because I didn't actually know what assets are. Assets isn't the flashy lifestyle. In fact, it's the opposite.
Yes. Right.
so, so then I went researching what is the highest ROI, return on investments, in these assets. Because as you know, there's so much opportunities out there. How do you know where to go, what to start? You got to start at the
Right.
ROI. That's the number one term for investors. Long, long story short, I found equities, listed stocks in the stock market. I began to pump my money in there each month because I knew if it lies in my bank account, I'm gonna spend it, lift my lifestyle back into debt. So I
Yeah.
needed a place to funnel this. Put it in the stock market. After 3.5 years, the returns from my own stock portfolio matched my paycheck as a financial analyst, and I quit my job.
Mm.
Technically retired at the age of 24.
I was
I'm
just
now
going to ask you, how
celebrating,
old were you? This is
yeah,
crazy.
I'm now celebrating a decade of financial freedom. I just turned
Wow.
35 2 weeks ago. 10 years of financial freedom.
Wow. I want to go back to this time where you were talking about how you made a decision to change the lifestyle, and how hard that was, because I'm sure there are a lot of people listening, and I'm hoping there are people listening that are in this age group, Richard, that are going through that. A lot of them come out of school with massive amounts of debt, which is a really hard way to start your young adult life. It's a heavy burden to carry. And so, they go into this all together, and yeah, they start living the crazy lifestyle and, buying all the things and going into more debt and not seeing a way out. So what were some of the things that you did, first to even say that you have to remove yourself from your friends, I think is a really scary thought for them. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have to be honest that it's the most natural thing to outgrow your friendships. It's the
Yeah.
most
But
natural thing. And so we need to,
hard.
yeah. And we need to accept that maybe this person isn't the best person for me.
Right.
Maybe I have a self-wealth issue, that maybe I think I don't deserve better friendships, better friends.
Right.
And many people realize that they're like, Richard, you're right. I deserve better people in my life. I deserve
Yeah.
quality people now. But that's something you need to realize for yourself, because no one can tell you. You need to drop your friends. You need to change your circle. That's just going to build up rebellion and all this guilt that what are they going to think of me? That am I better than them now? No.
Right.
It's none of that. It's self-worth that I know I deserve better, and I know
Right.
everything is seasonal, everything is temporary. And this one man said, I forget who said it, but he said across your lifetime, if you had 4 real friendships in your whole
Mm-hmm.
lifetime, you've done well. 4.
Right.
So it's this mindset of not quantity but quality. And we know what
Right.
Les says, OQP is only quality people. So it's like we
Mhm.
got to make a decision here. Do we want to brag and say, "Look at all my friends at my birthday party," or are we going to be honest that they're really not good for me? This is not mutual, and it's about
Mhm.
quality, and not
Yes.
quantity. And
Yeah.
but I to
I
get
don't.
there myself.
Yeah.
That's what is happening.
When I speak on, so my expertise, Richard, is I speak on why it's important to have a very crystal clear vision for your life.
Love
And
it.
I have an exercise that I've walked thousands of people through on envisioning what they want their life to look like. Specifically, I get them to think 3 years out.
Yeah.
How old will you be? How old will your family members be? And then start really writing, what do you want to create your life to look like? I did this for myself when I was in my late 20s.
Yeah.
Because at that point, we were doing the 9 to 5 gig, and I didn't do that well. I wanted the financial freedom like you did as well. And so in the exercise, I talk a lot about the front row, the people, and that the only people who should be in the front row of your life are what I call the 9s and 10s, the people who lift you up, believe in your vision, encourage you on the days that you want to, stop, or you want to quit. And I say the same thing. If you only have, 5 people there, that's all you need. And a lot of those people come and go. Sometimes I have somebody in that front row that they came into my life to help me elevate to the next level. And then it just organically it's run its course, and we've got to fill the front row again. So yeah, I really believe in the power of association.
Yeah, because people rub off on us the way they think, how they speak, what they do, whether we realize it or not. We're social creatures. We don't live in a cocoon. We live in this moving parts. And we're always rubbing shoulders, rubbing mindsets, rubbing thoughts, and we want to have that power of proximity. So I tell people that I do help everyone, but I don't spend time with everyone. There's a difference. You got to put up boundaries for your own mental health, your own growth. It's so important.
Yeah. You also used the word lonely during that time, Richard. And I think I did not know this until about a month ago. Somebody sent me some statistics about which generation, which demographic is the loneliest right now. And I thought it would be more my age group because I'm 61. I turned 61 a couple months ago.
Wow.
And, there's a lot of us that have been either divorced or I'm a widow. You would think it would be my age group, and it's really young adults. Very lonely, very isolated, and it's very scary because there's a lot of course, depression and anxiety that comes with that. So what helped you through that?
Yeah, look, I always knew that 1 year was just 1 year and not the rest of my life. So it was just temporary because I have a goal to get out of debt. So I knew the mission. It wasn't like I have a problem letting people in my life or sharing my life with people I knew. No, I'm a very natural social person. So this 1 year, I need to really sort myself out, sort my life out. And I can't do that with distractions.
Right.
And you also have to have that conviction. So I'm from South Africa, and like Nelson Mandela is the most famous South African person in history. And he spent like 27 years in prison. And many people aren't aware of this, but they actually offered him houses and cars. We'll give you this house, we'll give you this car if you just stop this freedom fighting, if you just stop that. And he said, how can I be free if my people are not free?
Yeah.
He had a conviction.
Right.
And so it is when your conviction overpowers, the FOMO of this party, or what I'm losing in this friendship. It's like, no, your conviction is so strong that it's not even on the same planet. It's like,
yes.
So you got to build that in yourself. It's like, the student debt crisis, no matter how big it is, the potential in me is bigger than the crisis. There's something in me that's bigger. I mean, even MLK, when he gave the speech, I have a dream, he gave it when he was facing the most hardship, oppression for African-American people. And he said, I have a dream. It's like, what? Look around you. How can you have a dream? And it's like, he chose to have the vision, to see something beyond his circumstances. And that's what kept me in that 1 year, in the loneliness, in that lonesomeness. It's like, you know what? I can look at this as a negative or a positive, as a weakness or a strength. So for me, this is my power of solitude. For me, this is my time to recharge and regain. And there's so much power there. Not, oh, woe is me. I'm here alone in my room with no money to go out. Oh, shame. No. Like, I get to be alone. Wow. Wow. I get to work on myself. I get to go within. I get to live in a place where we're not at war or conflict or fight in other countries where there's different priorities. Like, I have the privilege to go within and journal and do self-discovery. What? I live in a safe country where that's possible. And it's It's changing the narrative.
Right.
But you got to have the conviction, and then you got to own your narrative. You got to own what you're doing. Not day one, yes, I'm going to be alone by myself, and day five, you're like, oh, this was a bad idea. I'm pulling out. Why didn't I even do this? It's like, no, you had your why from the beginning. You knew why you're doing this.
Yeah. I love that you were talking about this, because this is so my passion. I've been an entrepreneur for over 30 years, built 2 businesses.
Wow.
Like I mentioned earlier, I've lost my husband and my son. And, people ask me, how did you get through all of the ups and downs of the business, all the losses, the adversity? And I tell them, because what I see is bigger than what I was dealing with at the moment. Right. The vision and my purpose. I'm really locked in on my purpose. I know why I'm here and what my calling is. Amazing. And I think that is so powerful that you are saying that you have to look beyond where you are right now, because so many people get stuck in the right now and think it's never going to change. And it's a choice of perspective that you're talking about. So I love that. So,
and I just want to celebrate you, like, well done for pushing through against all the odds. You're still standing, you're still showing up. So I love it. I love it. Well done.
Well, I'm very clear, like I said, on my mission. I'm very, very very much wanting to help young adults right now. As I said earlier, they are really struggling through a lot. So I loved bringing you on and talking about how you've, at a very early age, figured out your worth and how to, go within and really value who you are and set some boundaries, and then start changing. And I know this is what your expertise is around your mindset around wealth and how money works. Right. Yeah. So I love your story about the homeless man who is also debt free, and understanding that there's a difference between being debt free and financially free. Right. So talk to me a little bit about that journey. How did you start learning about that?
Yeah. So I have a degree in investments. So that's what I studied. But I tell people what made me financially free was not my degree. It was what a guy by the name of Warren Buffett, the most, they say the best investor of our time, but in my opinion, he's the best investor of all time. So Warren Buffett's material was a part of the additional learning prescribed material. It wasn't even in the course at college. It was in the additional space, and that's when I got hooked on his whole philosophy of long-term value investing. And that's what, when I speak to young kids in school and college, I say, you got to do the additional learning material. Don't just be satisfied with the books they give you, because it's so outdated. You got to go further. You got to go deeper. I mean, even when you're buying your stocks, I don't give stock advice or stock tips, but you can't think if you just buy the Ubers and the Teslas, you're going to make money. No, you got to do research, go deeper, go further, go the extra mile.
Yeah.
It's all about the gold and the oil. It's deep. You got to drill. You got to dig. It's not about doing the bare minimum and I'm done. No. You got to go further. You got to go deeper. The wealth is deep. And many people, they are on the surface. Everything is surface level. So they're playing in the sand and the mud, and they're wondering why they're broke. Gotta go
so
deep.
Good.
Gotta go deep. So in investments and in business, we speak about horizontal integration, and then we speak about vertical integration. So when you find your niche or your niche, go deeper. Go deeper, and go deeper. Before you go across sectors and industries and diversification, go deep. Don't stop digging just before you get the fullness there. You've put in the time, you've put in the hours, you've put in the years, you've put in the decades. None of it is in vain.
Go deep. Good.
And so Warren Buffett was all about value investing, and just to not get too technical, that's when you can calculate the intrinsic value of the stock, the true value, not the market price, the true value. Mm-hmm. And then all you're looking for is when the market price is below the actual value, not above. Okay. Very important. Many people, they love the hype stocks. Let me buy the stock high to sell higher. It's the dumbest thing you can do. You buy low to sell high.
Right.
So Warren actually says bad news is good news for the investor. Because
Okay,
bad
great.
news makes everyone panic and fear, and the stock market goes down, which is good news for the investor because now there's more value. When the stock market runs away with itself, there's very little value.
Hmm.
And the stock market is a collection of businesses. So you have to approach it as a business analyst. The goal of the game is to not make money, to make profit, and then use your profit for good. But you want to make profit. If your buying price is too high, you squeeze in your profit margins.
Right.
The stock market is a collection of businesses. And that's what I learned from Warren, that when people are greedy, you'll be fearful. When people are fearful, you'll be greedy. If you want to make money, you have to lead the herd. You can't follow the herd and think you're going to be financially free. No. You got to play a different game. You got to also play your own game. You got to stay in your own lane and go deep and focus. Don't be worried about whatever else is doing, the latest gimmick, the latest crypto, the latest fad, the latest AI. No. Stick to what you know and go deep. Warren Buffett says never invest in something you don't understand. And it's like everything I've learned from him resonated with me because, like I said, I never came from money, came from South Africa. And Warren Buffett, he's American, but he's from Omaha, Nebraska. Same values of actually valuing money, living the
Right.
frugal life, playing the long-term game. Warren actually
Right.
says you get to follow the loud mouths of Wall Street. They're been broke today. But he loves living in Omaha, Nebraska because it's away from the noise.
Wow. So much good wisdom you are dropping here, Richard. I mean, I'm like, okay, can we just have like a session on money after we're done here? Because people are doing that. They're chasing after the shiny thing that looks like the thing. But I love how, and I have another mentor that's really, really good with money. And he says similar things to you, that you don't invest in something you don't understand.
Yeah.
And I think that's so good, such good advice, because we do that. People do that. They chase after the thing that looks like it's going to be the get rich quick thing, which I also love you talking more about, legacy type money, generational wealth,
Yeah.
the long game. I love that.
Yeah,
So
yep.
how do you spend your days?
Yeah, so I'm a digital nomad. So I've been to 16 countries so far this past 3 years. Happened by accident. Like we went to Bali on vacation, and then the pandemic happened, and they shut down the airports. And our 3 month vacation ended up being almost 2 years in Bali.
Wow.
But don't feel sorry for me. I was on an island
Yeah.
for 2 years. but I realized that all I need is my laptop and Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I don't really need all the stuff we told we need. So
Right.
what happened was we started selling all our stuff back home. My partner's her parents sold our apartment, our cars, our clothes, because we weren't coming back. And we realized if we could do without these things for almost 2 years, we don't actually need it.
Right.
So we adopted this minimalistic life. And so we basically have 2 suitcases and a laptop bag each. That's it. And I tell people I'm an investor, not a trader. So I don't buy and sell stocks every day.
Okay.
I buy stocks at most once a month, and I keep them for at least once for 1 year. Sometimes longer, sometimes 2 years, 3 years, but I try not to sell them within the first year.
Okay.
So, and that for me suits my lifestyle because I actually want to see the sights when I'm in these countries. I don't want to be behind a laptop all day because the life behind a laptop is not a life. The life is
Right.
past the screens. It's above the screens. So being an investor, I tell people, you set it and forget it. So I try to buy my stocks on the first of every month. If not on the first week. And it's on
Okay.
autopilot. The rest of the month, I live my life. Your stocks and investments are supposed to be in the background. See, many people buy stocks and now they think they must watch business channels all day, read business newspapers. Do that, you will lose money because of all the negativity and fear.
Mm-hmm.
You don't buy stocks to try and work the market. Then you're defeating the whole aim. The whole aim is for the market to work for you. So you buy stocks and you forget about it and let the market work for you. We were all taught to work for money, the number one secret of the wealthy.
Yeah.
Never work for money, make money work for you. But it's going
Right.
to take a lot of work at the beginning to build the systems, to build the structures, to build the relationship. It's going to take work.
Right.
but only for a season. Then you have to step out, and that thing has to work without you. If it cannot work without you, it's not an asset. People start their businesses, they're like, look at my asset. I'm like, no, you're a slave to that business. You didn't build it on systems and structures and a team. If you can step out and that thing can make money without you, it's now an asset. And that's why I love being an investor, because it's not an exchange of time for money, time for money. I do my research. It takes me like 4 hours to research one company. I will only buy a company after at least 4 hours of work, looking at that thing inside, upside down, through and out, looking at all the dirty laundry. And that's the best about public companies. They are listed. So all the financials, it's public knowledge.
Right.
So I put 4 hours in, invest in it. I make my decision and I leave it for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And I carry on with my life.
This is amazing. Like, if I was your age, I would be like, okay, just teach me everything that you know. And I know you do, go out and speak. Obviously, that's how we met. And I'm thinking that you also now are teaching people this, right? Have courses or workshops that you bring people to, correct?
Yeah. Before we get into that, I just want to say that Warren Buffett turns 93 this year. You are 61, so you have a good 3 decades still to go and build your portfolio and get that compound interest.
Yes.
So,
well,
it's just a mindset.
Yeah. Well, I'll correct what I was saying is that I do have investments, and I have a financial planner who does really well with me on this. So, but what I meant by that is that, man, the younger you start.
Yeah.
Right. And first and foremost, it comes down to having the right mindset around how money works. And unfortunately, we still have a culture and an educational system that teaches us to work for the money, right? Instead of having the money work for you. I think that's changing a lot because of people like you. But I think, first of all, they have to change their mindset around, that you can build wealth and you can start early. So
that's what I tell people: you don't have a money problem, you have a mindset problem. Because you think money, the purpose of money is to spend it. No, the purpose of money is to grow it.
Right.
See, we are just channelers here. And when we die, we can't take any of the stuff with us.
Right.
So we just hear, the more blessed you are, the more you can be the blessing. So
right.
To tell people, don't attack the top 1%. Learn from them. In fact, join them. Why? Because you'll be one of the good ones. You will use your wealth for social change, which is philanthropy. But if you're broke, you can't help or fix or change.
Yeah.
So you can't give out a cup that's empty. So fill your cup and then you give out of the overflow. But that's the purpose of money, to be a channeler. So many people's like, I need to get money to pay the bills, That's why they can't get money, because it's from such a low vibration of lack. They're like, I want money, I want money. But the energy they're sending out is, I don't have money, I don't have money, I don't have money. And that's the energy that comes back. And they're wondering why, because lack is attracting lack. And the first way out of that is gratitude. That, oh man, if I have food in my fridge right now, I am 75% richer than most of the people on the planet just by having food.
Right.
Man, I have clothes on my back. I am so rich. I am so blessed. I have a Wi-Fi and a laptop. I am so blessed. You're sending that energy out of abundance, and that's what's going to come back to you. But you got to have the right mindset. You can't be, and I know we all have to, you have to budget and be frugal and be smart with your money. But when you release that money, you can't be complaining. Oh man, I have to spend on this, spend on that. That energy is going to come back to you.
Right.
Oh, spend on groceries. That's a salary for the cashier to feed their family.
Right.
We're channeling here. So I don't spend money, I circulate money. Because when you spend it, it's gone. When you circulate it, it comes back.
Right.
Oh, so I'm just channeling now. Money becomes a renewable resource. If you spend it, it's a non-renewable resource. So how can I channel this into an asset? Why? So it can be renewed and renewed and renewed without me.
Right.
Time for money, time for money. I have the right relationship with money. Okay, money is a tool that I use to make more money. I am not the tool being used to earn this money. It's like, no, money works for me. Money is not my God. Money is my servant. I have the right relationship with money. And it's a journey. So, look, Warren Buffett's 93, and he actually becomes better and better every single year with investments. because it's not so much IQ, it's EQ, emotional intelligence.
Hmm.
And we
Right.
learn this through time. And that's why one of the characteristics of a successful investor is not IQ, it's patience. And we know how hard is that, but we can develop it. We can
Yeah.
develop it. People's like, oh,
Right.
yeah, it's easier said than done. Does that mean we're not going to try? And I mean, everything is easier said than done. So it's like, okay, so I need the EQ skills. I need the patience.
Hmm.
I need the understanding here. What am I doing? I'm not trying to get money. Money is just a transaction mechanism.
Right.
I'm trying to get the assets. That's an income generating asset. And I'm trying to accumulate these assets over time because that's the definition of wealth, not the fancy house and the fancy car. Most of that people are so in debt. That's not wealth. Wealth is accumulation of assets over time. And then the
Right.
goal here is to give it away because when we die, we can't get it with us. So I have 4 investment portfolios. One is for every purpose. The fourth one is a giving account. The profits I make there is to give it away.
Yeah.
And Warren Buffett is not my role model because he's a billionaire. He's my role model because he gives billions away. So far,
Hmm.
he's given away more than $41 billion. When he dies, 99% of his $100 billion dollar fortune will leave the family and go to organizations and charity. That's the purpose of being blessed. Not to brag
Yeah.
and show off. It's to be the blessing. It's to channel it out so it doesn't overconsume us and control us.
Right.
And it's like, I have money, money doesn't have me. I have the right relationship with money. And so, but I'm a product of my mentors and coaches. And I tell people I'm not a self made millionaire. I'm who I am today because of those that have come before me.
Mm.
And we just tweak for the times that we're living in, but we're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. No.
Right.
There's successful models, successful mentors out there. Learn from them, study them, and do your version of it. But don't try, be like, I built this with these hands. That's all ego. That's just stand on the shoulders of those that came before us.
Yeah. So wise, Richard. Like I said at the beginning of this podcast, really at such a young age, so wise and doing so many great things in the world. And I could talk to you all day long about how changing your mindset is most especially around money and how money flows is just so huge. So how do you help people? How can people find you if they want more information about you?
Yeah, so I have a mentorship program. I call it my inner circle. And basically, you just mirror me month to month. So buy what I buy, sell when I sell, just mirror me. So for more information about that, I will be doing a free talk. Can I drop the website here?
Sure. Just tell us and we'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, so it is rhinternational.net. They can register there. It's a free talk. And then at the end, they will have the opportunity if they want to be part of my mentorship program or not. Whether they become part of the mentorship program or not, they'll get massive value. So it's a 90-minute free talk. And it's basically the virtual version of the Scottsdale event. So they gave me 30 minutes. I went to 38 minutes. There's still so much more I wanted to give.
I know, it's so hard.
90 minutes. And it's for free. And we want to do this. We want to see every month. So for those that even can't afford the mentorship program, for those that can't afford to come to the States, for those who can't afford to be in the room, you can still get the knowledge.
Right.
And I tell parents that have kids, don't just buy your kids the things that you never had.
Right.
Teach them the things that you were never taught. So that's what we want to do. We want to get into that, build that wealthy mindset. And I mean, everything's a seed. Like one idea can change your life forever.
Right.
One plan, one a partnership, and it's in alignment with my mission, which is to empower 1 billion people with the tools to set themselves financially free by 2030. So that's why when you said, do you have a podcast? Will I be on the podcast? I'm like, yes, let's do it.
Yes.
That's how we're going to reach people online in the digital world. And that's when you can scale. So yeah, I'm excited about this virtual event. It's going to be really, really special. I will be sharing my story and also my 3 secrets to financial freedom at age 24 that I discovered from from Forbes Magazine. What are the wealthy doing that's not being taught
Nice.
in the
Yeah.
schools and in the colleges? What are they doing? So that's
Right.
what we'll be sharing.
All right. Well, we will make sure to put that in the show notes so that people can find you. They can come to whatever you're offering, because truly you are brilliant, Richard, and truly not just brilliant, but I love your heart and what you are bringing to the world. And I'm thrilled that you and I met, even for 30 seconds at that summit. I hope we get to talk some more.
Definitely. And I mean, everyone in America was so welcoming and so friendly. And we're setting up more events to come back to the States. So that was the first of many. So I'm excited to meet up again in person. It's going to be amazing.
I hope that I get to see you there.
Me too. Me too.
Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate you so much. I know it's evening there, so I, again, really do appreciate it. And this conversation was really rich, Richard. So thank you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me, and to listeners as well for listening. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Much love.
All right. Hang tight for a second. So I'm Carey Conley, everyone. Thank you for listening to this episode. And I'm just your host of this Moving Through and Beyond. I bring on people like Richard to just help you through whatever adversity you're going through and learn how to live a richer life. So I want to keep reminding you to keep looking up. If you found this episode inspiring or helpful, please share it with a friend or a family member. In order to be successful on this mission, I can't do it alone. Connect with me at www.careyconley.com, and don't forget to sign up for my weekly Do It On Purpose newsletter. Let's build this life-giving vision movement together to end this epidemic, save lives, and create purpose.